Hello, and welcome to the EPSI Chats Podcast, an initiative by the Mandela University's Transformation Office. Join us today as we engage on equality-related issues and the different forms of unfair discrimination and how they impact the transformative work of our university and the broader community.
Time for us to talk a little bit about our guest today. We're going to talk about the EPSI organization from Transformation Office. EPSI is Equality, Promotions and Social Inclusion.
Yes, time to have an informative conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe you can learn a couple of things from us today and from our guest.
So we have the founder of the EPSI organization, which is Equality, Promotion, Social Inclusion. Now I have like a few questions because I personally don't know what EPSI is, and I'm sure you guys don't know what EPSI is. So I would love to ask, what was the inspiration behind EPSI for you to be like a founder? You were like,
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that question. Before I get myself into trouble, I'm not the founder, but I'm the coordinator for the EPSI project.
Girl.
It's founded by the university, belongs to the university.
Girl.
So yeah, but I am the coordinator and the quality officer within the Transformation Office, and the EPSI project, Equality, Promotion and Social Inclusion, is our broader project.
Yeah.
So it deals with all elements linked to equality. So we speak about things like racism, sexism, discrimination based on one's sexual orientation. We deal with gender-based violence. We deal with it all in that project. So it's our mainstream project. And as I said, we focus on humanizing our community, social inclusion. So that then means that we are taking a stand against discrimination of any kind, and we link ourselves to the university's statement of commitment on an inclusive institutional culture.
Wow, that is so beautiful to know because, well, for someone who has also experienced a lot of some other things that you would talk about, I am too experienced because we are black women, and also not only that, I am a black trans woman. So when it comes to inclusion or some sort of bigotry or discriminatory manner or something, then I'm not unlikely not to face that.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, is it for people like me? Who is it for? What is the organization for?
Okay. Well, the Transformation's doors are open to everyone. So staff, students, stakeholders within our institution. As I mentioned, I spoke about the university's statement of commitment to an inclusive institutional culture that's based on the university's Vision 2030. So basically, protection is afforded to staff and students and our stakeholders, and basically your protection against any form of unfair discrimination, bullying, intimidation, victimization, harassment falls within that space. So definitely we don't differentiate between classes of people. Everyone is protected.
Adelaide, I have a question for you.
Yes.
As a victim, right? And I wanna reach out to you. Reach out to the organization. What does protection from you look like?
Okay, so the Transformation Office, as I said, is an office within our institution, within our university. If you want to reach out to us, you can do that via the student portal or via the staff portal. There's an icon that says report harassment/discrimination, and we will then get your particular complaint. You can lodge it that way, or you can call us to lodge your complaint. And once you do that, it comes to our case coordinator, Violet Ngofe, and she will then get in touch with you, tell you about the different support that we have within our office. We have a counselor within our office. She then takes you through the entire process on what is to follow next. There will be an investigation and so forth and so forth.
Yes.
You can also get a protection order, as you said, what type of protection can you get? So you can get a protection order against your perpetrator whilst the case is unraveling.
It's ongoing. Okay.
Well, that's beautiful to know. I'm just going to ask you one last question, since we're about to wrap this up with this segment. This part of the segment with you. I'm just going to ask, is there any other events that people may be interested in? Like, what other projects are you looking forward to?
Okay, so just to highlight what we're doing at this moment, this is our podcast show, EPSI Chats. It's something that people can look forward to every month. There'll be at least 2 episodes that are published every month. We also have a seminar coming up next week on the 20th of April, and it is from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. and we'll be unpacking things like racism within institutions of higher learning and what more we need to do to dismantle this barrier.
Yes.
Well, Sam, if you are listening and you want to engage more, do not go anywhere, because this is the station that keeps you connected, informed, and engaged. This is Madiba's Radio, and you're listening to the Diba Drive here at Madiba's Radio. We're going to have more and an in-depth conversation with one of our guests today. I did say Madiba's Radio, keeping connecting, informed, and engaged. Right now, we're going to be asking a few questions to our guest for the day. We have a guest today. I did say it is Violetu Ngomfe, a case coordinator, LGBTQI advocate, coordinator of NMB Pride Ambassador. Also, child, all of that.
We're sitting with important people today. I can feel it.
You can hear my brain. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to end this up. I have to be in the bounds because Dim Kolungo. I can't believe I'm having such conversations, great conversations also, I have to say. Welcome, Sanosam Mujain.
I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're okay. We're happy that you're here with us today.
Happy that you are here.
Oh no, thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for the invite as well. I'm always happy to be around Madiba's Radio. And I am so happy to be part of the Diba Drive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to you for honoring the invite. Oh, let me say, gracing us with your presence for us to be informed with the information that you're about to share with us, and for us to ask you a few questions. Hopefully we're not going to invade your space. We're going to keep it cute and lovely. Please do connect it with us at 069 8853 970 for our WhatsApp number at Madiba's Radio. At Twitter, don't go anywhere, because this is the station that is hot in and out of the bay.
Definitely. As we mentioned earlier, you're from the Equality Promotion and Social Inclusion project, right? Organization, which
yes, from the transformation
from the transformation office. I just have a question for you. What does freedom mean to you as the organization?
Oh, okay, cool. So in the transformation office, we have different types of portfolios that we occupy. The one that you actually mentioned now, equality of promotion and social inclusion. We do have Mandela Pride, and I think the one actually that I'm going to be speaking about is the link between Mandela Pride and EPSI, Equality of Promotion and Social Inclusion. So what does freedom mean to me?
Yes, the right to freedom.
The right to freedom. Let me just say, as a queer person.
Yes,
as a queer person, I mean, it's Freedom Month. I mean, freedom for me is being who I am and being authentic, not having to live not having to act and be something that I'm not, right? Because I don't feel safe in a particular space. So I think freedom means me being Ovuyo at any given point or in any space. Actually, when I come to Madiba's Radio, I need to be here and be myself.
Being comfortable.
When I go to church, yes, I need to be in church and be myself, being comfortable in being myself and being authentic. When I go to class, I need to be there and I need to be myself and being authentic. So I think it's all about being self and being true to what I believe in and being true to who I am and what I am. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, for answering our question. So
We have more questions for you.
Questions for you,
A whole bunch.
So, did you feel the need to put on a facade have you ever felt rather to put on a facade to order feel protected or feel safe or accepted during a time in your life?
Yeah, I have like a lot of, especially growing up.
Yes.
I had a lot of, I had experience where I had to put on a particular face in order for me to be accepted. I'll take it back to even like church, where you're a girl, you're supposed to wear a skirt, and even at school, like in primary school and high school as well, you are a girl, you're supposed to put in a tunic, and you're a boy, you're supposed to wear that. So, and spaces where I could not, those are some of the spaces where I couldn't be myself. So in most of these spaces, even at home, let's take it back home. As a queer person, being at home, it meant that I can't be queer here. So if I want to be queer, if I want to be myself,
yes,
I need to be outside, which is not safe.
Away from your safe space.
Yes. So it's like, I come from a family where it has been difficult, accepting my sexuality, but I had to be something else or something that I'm not. I would remember this other time I had to put on a twist braids, red twist, crop top.
Oh my God.
Just to fit in, and to have the society accepting me.
And to feel safe enough to exist.
Yes.
I can imagine how that felt. Well,
so I had to put on a particular face for while I was growing up.
So, okay, thank you so much for being vulnerable in that time and telling us and letting us into your life. So I'm just going to ask you, from a scale of 1 to 10, how free do you feel to express yourself in the university space, be it at work or at home?
I'll start within the university space, guys. I feel so free. I mean, in university, I always say university is a space to become. As I say, from high school, you now going to a space where you can be yourself. You can dress whatever. You can put on whatever that you like. You can have a different hairstyle. University is a space for you to become.
Allows you to be
to be vulnerable.
Vulnerable, yes.
To be yourself. To discover yourself if you haven't discovered yourself yet. So I think in the university space, I would say the university did allow me to be who I am, rather than the other spaces which I've occupied, like home. Home is not where I can be who I am. No, the university space is the space that I own, if I can put it that way. And I know that the right of... Also, this space provides community. I know I can see another person that looks like me here, and
feel safe enough to exist.
Yes. It's not like something foreign or something that is not allowed in this space. I can be who I am, and I can find community within the space.
Yeah, speaking about embracing yourself within a community, if you could go back in a time, what would you have wanted to done differently for you to fully embrace your identity?
Sure. I think for me it is just about creating a safe space. I would go back to people creating a safe space for people to be, even as young as back. I almost said back then when I was a little girl. Growing up,
yes.
Where you would be. It's okay for me to play with cars and guns and wanting to play soccer rather than wanting. There was a time where I was not allowed to play with boys' stuff. If I may put it that way. So I would say one thing that I would change is allowing people to do what they want to do. Even kids, allow them to be who they want to be, allow them to play with whatever they want to play with, allow them to exist in their world and just be happy.
And grow into themselves.
Yes, I'll take away the stereotypes also, because I think that's what got us into depression and anxiety, because there's girls do this, boys do
stick
that.
to that.
Yes, there's so much binaries that
Yeah.
make us push us to a certain box actually. So it's one of those things that, I would take away the binaries, the stereotypes, where people, if you don't want to do that, you're free not to do it. Just be able to exist and be you,
Okay, thank you so much, Vuyelwethu. Thank you so much for your time and information and allowing us to ask you such questions, because this is something that, as the Deeper Drive right now, we're introducing a new segment. It's called the EPSI Podcast. So just 30 minutes of our time just to have informative conversation with the right people, just to ask how do we go about this, where, how, when, what do we do? So I have like one last questions for you, my angel.
Yeah.
So when it comes to promoting safety and for people to feel protected, more especially the queer community, the LGBTQIA people, what would Vuyelwethu do for that?
As an individual.
Yes.
I'm actually big on creating safe spaces, but I do believe that, that this is not something that I would have to do alone.
Yes.
This is something that I would have to do with institutions like NMU, the Transformation Office, where we foster a culture that respects diverse identities, right? Where we create awareness programs, such as coming to these platforms, where we can talk about queerness, where we can talk about being true to yourself and staying true to yourself and staying authentic to yourself. So I think for me, it's just creating awareness and creating platforms where people can actually be who they are and creating those safe spaces. And one could say, okay, what is a safe space? If the institution does not make you, it doesn't actually it's not a safe space for you, but make sure that you do have someone. Maybe you come here and say, oh, okay, Adelaide is my safe space.
Yes.
Yeah.
You find a safe space in someone actually, or find a safe space Kuvuyo. And I think for me that's what I would do in terms of like just creating safe spaces and making sure that people can exist within the society and be free and be who they are and be authentic and not feel like they are judged or discriminated against because of their sexuality or how they identify.
Thank you so much, Vuyelwethu, for that wonderful knowledge, and also it's just beautiful to see another queer person in a space where they feel comfortable enough to talk about their experiences of being queer, and also in the space that we are in, essentially in the establishment, I would say, we are in, and how it feels and how they go about their lives. So thank you so much for everything that you've just told us. And where can people find you on social media? Or
I like that question. Thank you for that question. I like it. But you can actually find me, or not me, Mandela Pride. You can find us on social media on Facebook. It's Mandela Pride. Or you can search for the Transformation Office on all social media platforms, or in our Facebook, or in our Instagram. We are there. But if you're looking for Vuyo, you can still find me on Facebook, actually.
Okay, it's time someone I call Adelaide. Where can they find the EPSI offices?
Well, EPSI is part and parcel of the Transformation Office. So you find the Transformation Office, you find EPSI, but we also do have our own Facebook page, Mandela Social Inclusion page. So you can find all our EPSI related material on Facebook as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Estano Sam, and thank you for everything.
Join us again next time as we speak out against all forms of unfair discrimination and social exclusion. Thank you for listening.